Hey everyone, today we're going to be talking about graphing equations. And the equation that we're going to use over and over again is this y equals mx plus b. We've seen this before when we were talking about linear functions, where m is what's changing or the pattern, and b is the starting point. We're still going to use those terms, but for graphing, we're going to switch it up a little bit and talk about what they stand for in terms of when we graph things. So that M, you might recognize, that is going to stand for our slope. And our B term is going to stand for the y-intercept. Now, what's the y-intercept? The y-intercept is where the line crosses the y-axis. Okay, so we've got two parts to all of our equations, the slope and the y-intercept, and that's going to be super helpful in graphing these lines. In fact, that's the only bit of information we're going to need to create a line. So we're going to start out with y equals 2x minus 1. Now you'll notice it's in the same form as y equals mx plus b, where the 2 is going to be in place of the m, and in this case the negative 1 is going to be b. So I'm going to go ahead and write those out, where the slope, I'm just going to take it right from the equation, is 2. Right, the slope is going to be the number that's in front of the x, the coefficient that's in our x term, and our b, our y-intercept, is going to be negative 1. This is all the information we need to make our line. I'm going to dive a little bit deeper here with our slope. Remember, slope is written as rise over run. So we always want our slope to be written in fraction form. So we're going to take this whole number 2, and we're going to put it in fractional form by just putting it over 1. So our slope is actually going to be 2 over 1. That's going to account for the rise and the run. And our y-intercept is negative 1. Now we're ready to graph. Let's start out with a coordinate plane. Remember, this is the y-axis, this is the x-axis. And like I said, all the information we need is right here. But we're going to use this information in a specific order. And that specific order is, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to plot the y-intercept. Now the y-intercept, remember, is where that line crosses the y-axis. So we need to find where it crosses at negative 1. Well, here's my y-axis. I'm going to go into the negative world one step. And there's negative 1 on our y-axis. And it's going to be 0, comma, negative 1. There's the point on our y-axis. After that, so that's going to be our first point in our line. Our line is somewhere on that, crosses that point somewhere. Right there. Anyway, the next step we're going to take is we are going to draw the slope through the y-intercept. So we're going to start at our y-intercept, and we're going to think back to what is our slope. Our slope is 2 over 1, and it's positive. So our line is going to look something like this. If it was negative, it would go down like this. That's something to consider for the next problem. But we're going to go up like this. So our rise is 2, our run is 1, and that's what we're going to do. I'm going to color code it, but we're going to rise 2, and we're going to run. Let's see if this pops up. I don't think it will. We're going to run 1. So that was 2 and 1. And that is our next point right there. So we've got 2 points on the line so far. Really, we could just draw our line between those points. But let's do a third one. We're going to do the same thing from our new point. We're going to rise 2, 1, 2, and we're going to run 1, 1. Okay, so same idea. We rose twice, and we ran once. And that is all the points we need for our line. We're going to take our ruler, line them up, draw a nice line straight through all of those points. And a good practice to get in is to create little arrows on either end of that line, showing our reader that that line goes on and on forever. And that is all we need to do. Let's do one more. We are going to plot the line, the equation, y equals negative 3x plus 4. So again, we need to, this is written in y equals mx plus b form. So we need to pull out our m, which is our slope, and our b, which is our y-intercept. Our m is what's in front of the x, that coefficient, so negative 3. But remember, we want to turn that into fractional form. So we're going to say negative 3 over 1. And then our b term, our y-intercept, is going to be positive 4. And that's all the information we need. Let's do the same thing we did. Let's create our coordinate plane. Y and x. We're going to start with our y-intercept. In this problem, it's positive 4, so it's going to be along the y-axis, up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 0, 4 is the point there. Now we're ready to plot our slope along the y-intercept, and we're going to use negative 3 over 1. Now, our slope is negative, so it's going to look something like this. Our line is going to go downward as we look at it from left to right. So I need to be thinking about how that's going to look and what points I'm going to plot. The way I wrote it here is the 3 is negative, so that tells me I'm going to run. Remember, this is rise over run. So I'm actually going to rise negative 3. 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to run positive 1. So I moved over to the right there. So again, I went 1, 2, 3, 1. And I can do the same thing from that point. 1, 2, 3, 1. And I end up with a negative slope that's going down. The other way that I could have thought about this, 1, 2, 3, is I could have gone up 3, 1, 2, 3, and over to the negative world 1. And that would have been in line with my other points here as well. So with these problems, you kind of got to play around with the slope. As long as you're ending up with a negative slope when it's supposed to be negative, and all those points are in line, you're really good to go. And that is our line, and we're done. Thanks for watching.